Hey guys, it's Eddie here from Dilleen Property. This video is all about how much saving an actual property deposit sucks. And it really actually does suck. If you're just trying to buy your first investment property or your next property, or even a place to live in as an example. This video is all about how much it sucks actually saving that deposit and actually waiting and struggling to build up that deposit. So I thought I'd touch base on it a little bit, talk a little bit about the different ways that you can do it and also some alternatives to actually saving a deposit. So I've got 15 properties at the moment and I'm 27 years old, and I've built that portfolio over the last 7 or 8 years now. And I've saved a lot of genuine deposits. I've saved probably 60 to 70% of my portfolio that I've built comes from genuine deposits, just saving money and putting money aside, living very frugal and working 2-3 jobs at a time. If you haven't heard my story before, you can check it out a little bit more from that side of things. But basically I've saved a lot of deposit and it just sucks. Like I've had to work 2-3 jobs at a time to save lots of money and as much money as I can to put that money away, and sometimes I'd save one deposit every year, one deposit every 8 months or whatever it is. But yeah, it's basically just a long struggle. And I was actually speaking to someone the other day, and they were saving about $500 a week, and by their forecast they'd be able to buy a property in the next year and a half. They also had an investment property. Well, they had the principal place of residence that they lived in that they bought, and they had equity within that property. And I pretty much said, obviously no financial advice, but basically from my point of view, if I had a property I was living in or an investment property and I wanted to buy another property and I was trying to save up, $200 a week, $500 a week, whatever it is, and it was going to take me a year and a half to buy the next property, a year and a half to save up to buy the next investment property, and I had equity in that other property I had, it would be no doubt in my mind I'd just take equity out if I could and use that to buy property right now instead of waiting a year and a half. Because if you do that and you wait a year and a half and you're trying to buy an investment property or another property as an example, if the market moves in that year and a half, say for example you're trying to save $35,000 as a property deposit or $40,000, and it's going to take a year and a half to save that or 2 years to save that, and you're thinking about waiting all that time. If you, for example, bought a property for $300,000 right now, found a way to do it, and the property went up over that year or 2 years from $300,000 to $350,000, you're paying $50,000 more by waiting. So you time's working against you, and it's just working against you. You're going to be paying more for that same property, another year or 2 years later. So if you do have a principal place of residence or an investment property, what I would personally do, and I'll show you on the whiteboard behind, so as an example, is take a little bit of equity out within reason, no financial advice of course, but you buy the property right now, then you've got the property, you can catch that growth, and also the savings that you would have done over that year and a half, you can just save that anyway because the property would be paying for itself, and then put that back on your mortgage or save up, and then you've got 2 properties working, and then you can buy one, buy 2, then get one value, go to the next one, etc. So say for example you got $5,000 in the bank right now, but you've got an investment property. For this example, we'll just say the investment property is worth $400K, and let's just say for example you've got a loan on this property of $280,000, so that's the value, and loan on it is $290K, and that's your principal place of residence or one of your properties, right? So what I would do, if the property is valued at $400,000, I just technically take the loan up, and yes, you would be paying more interest on this, but it's pretty much a catch-22. Do you want to wait 2 years and save that deposit, or do you want to take 1 step back to go 3 steps forward? So this is just an example. You could order a new loan of 80%, so you can go up to 80% loan to value ratio, and if you don't know what loan to value ratio is, check it out some of our other videos, but you basically go a new 80% loan, LVR, of 400,000. So right off the top of my head, 10% of, this is how I work it out basically. It has a lot to do with percentages and all that kind of stuff. So if you learn percentages, if you're kind of good at math, then this will help a lot. So 10% of 400,000, I'm basically trying to find out what 80% of $400,000 is. So 10% of 400,000 is 40,000 times 2, which is 20%. So that's 80,000. So 400,000 minus 80,000 is 320,000. So I'll put that down here. So your new loan, so that could be your new loan technically. That's your new loan. So your value is 400,000. Your old loan was 290,000. You pretty much go to the bank, order a revaluation on your property, ask them to take it up to 80%, or you can go 90%, but you have to bear in mind what's right for your individual circumstances and your situation and all the rest of it. This is just some examples of what I've done a few times to grow my portfolio. So 400,000, 80% of 400,000 is 320,000. So you take your loan up, 320,000, and your old loan was 290. So you're basically subtracting 290 from 320,000. So then what's the difference there? You've got 30,000 out. So 30,000 in basically cash now, or accessible equity. So that essentially what you've done, you've topped your loan up. Yes, you will have to pay a little bit higher interest rate because your loan's gone from 320, but it gives you access to cash right away instead of saving for a year or however long it is, however long it takes you to save to get to 30, 40,000. Yeah, there you've got your cash out right now, and you can buy an investment property. So you can buy another one and then catch that growth. And you know, if you buy a property right, it's going to have rental income and all the rest of it. So, and you're going to be getting tax deductions. So it's very important not to cross-collateralize your properties, which I've said hundreds of times. But this is just example. So you're increasing your, obviously your loan from 290 to 320, which is 80% loan of 400,000, and you're cashing out that 30,000. So you can sieve that in your offset account, and you've got that accessible to buy another property. So I hope this video has helped. If you do have any questions from this side of things, please send them through, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye.